Hi, I'm back, and this is the second part of the polio story. We did, I collapsed in the middle of the kitchen floor when I saw bananas across the room, which was a big treat in northern Minnesota. You didn't see that very often. So, anyways, I was so excited. So, I left you with I'm eating a banana and enjoying it. Meanwhile, I'm collapsed, but I'm eating a banana and enjoying it. Why not? Um, He delivered my three sisters, that's Doc Brink, but not me. I ended up being born in a neighboring town because my mom brought her mother her famous award winning homemade angel food cake. Yep, my first birthday cake was a Valentine's cake. Yep, I came quick. She told me it took 40 minutes to get to the hospital, even gunning it. She remembers a shot in the arm and going up to heavenly voices. I smile when I write this. I always thought I was heaven sent. Well, it was the drugs they pumped into new moms in those days. Yep, I was born a druggie. The heavenly music was a choir singing at a Valentine's Day party at the hospital. Going up in an elevator, probably the only one in 40-mile radius, gave my mom the sensation of flying upwards to heaven. I had the spinal tap to determine polio. I still remember how painful that was. Doc Brink ordered an ambulance to drive me 380 miles through the North Woods south to Sister Kenny Institute in Minneapolis. Time was not on my side. Polio virus was raging through my body. The sooner I got there, the more muscles I saved. Sadly, no freeway then, 2 lanes most of the way. Well, I was 8 years old, and I didn't realize this. I was on a great adventure. I never saw an ambulance, which you didn't see in our small town. I was seated in the back on a litter and chauffeured. The first town we came to, the sirens blared. Wow, cool. I felt like this was better than being the queen in the Potato Day parade. I was the main event. Lots of towns to keep me happy. We finally arrived at Sister Kenny. I told them I had to go to the bathroom. I almost jumped off the table, not aware of my paralysis. The next thing I remember is dark, a dark place. I probably was drugged. I remember lying down in an enclosed bed, and my head was on the outside, and there was a little mirror. Years later, I figured I was in an iron lung. I was there about 6 months, and then I came up into the light in a sunny ward with other girls. I actually am going to name my memoirs Come Up Into the Light, because the theme comes through my memoirs, this theme of coming up into the light. So I can't imagine my parents going through this. My mom told me years later a preacher came and read the last rites over me. I'm so glad that didn't happen to me when I was a mom. I do not remember this dark time. I have more good, happy memories of Sister Kenny than bad ones, like pain. Seems like the good memories are the ones I remember. I don't remember the bad ones. I wonder if a child lives in the moment and once the pain is over, it is out of mind. I remember Louise Latour, the hot packer. She would come 3 times a day at first, pushing a tub with a wringer washer. My mom had a wringer washer tub. Looked like that, only smaller. The water was boiling hot, and she would feed the rags through the wringer to squeeze out all the moisture. Then she would wrap them around my body from my neck all the way down to my toes. She would add a wool blanket piece and pin it tight with safety pins. Movement hurt. Eventually, I screamed a lot at first because movement hurt. Eventually, it stopped hurting. She was so nice, and I remember her. Sister Kenny's treatment of heat and exercise saved some muscles of my body from paralysis. I also visited Katie, the Whirlpool Lady. I like that, Katie, the Whirlpool Lady. She always gave me cinnamon candies, so I looked forward to the hot whirlpool bath. She had to move me on a stretcher that a chain lowered me in the bubbly warm water. Moving me hurt, but the tub and the candy made up for it. I remember her fondly. My favorite candy to this day is cinnamon hot candies. Now that I reflect back, Katie was a black woman. She had freckles. I never forgot their faces. I didn't think anything at the time. I came from towns in northern Minnesota, and majority of the population was Scandinavian and Germanic. And I'm thinking about this for the first time. I had a good friend I met in Girl Scouts after school, and she was black. I didn't realize the differences in looks, and didn't occur to me that she was any different. I was different on crutches. Apparently, I wasn't asked back to Valerie's house. I invited her, but she said her parents said no. On my birthday, I asked my mom to make me a strawberry angel food cake with pink frosting and cinnamon candies on it. My favorite person was the person that tortured me the most, Vivian Hannon, my physical therapist. She eventually became head of physical therapy at the University of Minnesota. She saved what she could, and to this day I'm so grateful to her. She had to hurt to save me. She engaged me in conversation, and we enjoyed each other. She would tell me it's going to hurt. Of course, I screamed bloody murder. She did not let up. Afterwards, we would chat about her niece, about my age, who lived in her lower duplex. I was not able to move any muscles in my left leg, weakened right foot, and no, I was not able to move any muscles when I first came to her. I ended up paralyzed in my left leg, weakened right foot, and luckily I had a strong upper body. I was eventually in a wheelchair. Then the big day, after months of torturous exercise, came when they outfitted me in Kenny sticks, or crutches, that the leather cuffs were mid-arm. At first I was upset because it was so hard standing and walking. Then I was fitted into my long leg brace and shoes. Oh, happy day. This was easy. I could walk on them. They had to keep slowing me down because I didn't want to do the right foot, left crutch, left foot, right crutch. They didn't have much luck. Ha! I got from point A to point B as fast as I could. Blessed movement. I don't walk the right way to this day on my crutches. They had to hold on to them until therapy session. Well, we had another polio girl in my ward, Naomi. She was 5 years old and she looked like Shirley Temple. Her parents were missionaries in Africa, and she traveled all the way to Sister Kenny to Minneapolis. Her parents stayed there. She was sweet. Another girl, Veronica, a burn victim, who was scouted in a tub. I don't remember others. I don't remember much, but I remember watching TV in the ward. We didn't own a set in our northern town. Our cousins did, and we would come on Saturdays to watch Howdy Doody, Roy Rogers, and Dale Evans, and Hopalong Cassidy. I have a problem with the last show, because I have been called Hopalong Cassidy more times than I care to mention. Adults still call me that if I'm hoofing it or walking on my crutches. When I'm in my mobility scooter, they exclaim, "Hey, not so fast, you'll get a speeding ticket." I'm glad they don't know how many times I've heard that one. I often wonder why they have to say something. I'm sure there are many reasons, but it does get old. Possibly they want to be funny, and I am not so intimidating to try out their comedy act. Could be people with disability make them uncomfortable. I never hear this outside the state of Minnesota. Wish I didn't hear these statements pointing out my disability. It could be the Boy Scout syndrome, feeling guilty about needing to help me. I wish people would let us ask for help. I don't know how many times I hear, "Do you need help?" Are you all right? What is wrong with you? One man asked me if I needed help. I just finished loading my car with my scooter lift. I was irritated and countered, "Do I look like I need help?" He said, "I haven't talked to anybody all day and just wanted to talk." I said, "Well, sorry for being irritable. I just want to not be reminded I'm disabled. Thank you for telling me this. I will be the next people who remind me that I am disabled. I will let it go. I appreciate this." I pondered on his admission that he was lonely. It has changed my perspective. Well, back to my story. We had 2 channels that the antennas on our rooftops tuned in pretty good in northern Minnesota. The rest only once in a blue moon. Our northern town is about 30 miles from the Canadian border, and it had Canadian TV. In 1970, they finally received American television. I remember us moving back for 5th grade when Dad got a commercial fishing job on Lake of the Woods for the summer. He got a cabin for us. We had a fun-filled summer at the beach. It was where I had my first kiss. It was with Melvin. His family worked at the resort. I had a big crush. We spent the summer hanging out, and I remember sitting in a car, and we kissed one time. He was a chubby blonde-haired kid with big blue eyes. Ha! I was head over heels. I rode on the back of his bike, and a big road grader came by on the road, and a boy waved at us. Oh no, it was Johnny L. from my old class in Williams. I have been worried about going back to my old class that fall. I left to go to Sister Kenny right before 3rd grade started. I left the class with an athletic body, and now I walk on crutches. Well, our romantic moment was over. Melvin told me it was Johnny from our class. When we started school in Williams that fall, I saw him, and he ignored me. We were both awkward that our classmates saw us. Johnny was a good kid, and I don't think he would have said anything. Girls and boys did not fraternize at that time, but just starting to. Some of the girls in my class wore dresses with high heels. They looked so good. I felt a shift in my life as I knew I was not able to wear high heels. My orthopedic shoes attached to my leg brace bummed me out. My white stockings didn't look as great with my metal brace wrapped around my crooked, skinny leg. My cousin looked great and was becoming a pretty tween. There was a picture of me with a sad expression in the yearbook my cousin showed me. Could be the move, and coming home on crutches wasn't how I wanted it played out. In my imagination, I pictured me a sophisticated, big city girl wearing outfits like Twiggy and riding one of my horses to school and my lassie dog following me home. Well, I looked like Twiggy, a skinny Minnie, but without the great fashion or look. I did have a surprise birthday party given me, and Johnny L. gave me a gift, which was knee-high socks. I got a Valentine, birthday cards, and I wore a beautiful baby blue cashmere sweater sent to me in a birthday package from Miss Hannon. How nice, and I hadn't thought about her. I don't think I wrote her a thank you. My mom did not have us do that. I hope she got some kind of thank you. She is one of my top humans in my life, and I owe her skills and dedication to bring back my second set of muscles. And I'm going to end here. And I think that's about it for my polio. Thank you for listening.